number.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Damn,
Well,
man.
yeah,
You gonna buy 25 properties?
yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, man.
And rolling.
Happy 2023. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Housing Podcast. I'm your host, Tim McDaniel, and we have our co-host in the house, Mr. Marvin Jackson.
Hey, how you doing? Thank God for another new year rather, which is 2023, and I'm happy to be with good people today.
Absolutely, man. I hope you guys are excited. We are so excited to just be here again, man. Like we ready to just level up again, in terms of just the information that we're providing and, the content and bringing, some special guests to just enrich you guys. Like we really want this platform to be a resource for you if you're in the housing business or if you're just someone that got goals, housing goals. This is a platform for you. And we actually got good news, right? We're actually going to share our housing goals with you in this episode. Word of the day is goals.
Sounds good to me. That's what we should be about, reaching our goals for this year particularly, but for a lifetime all the time.
Yeah, I mean, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. We'd be like, all right, it's a new year. What are our resolutions and everything? I don't know about y'all, but, I guess I'm getting older. I got a family now, but I didn't really do the resolution thing. Like I more so got a lot of rest. I did like a vision board, right? Cause that's just fun. I go to the Dollar Tree. I bought all these art supplies, right? I actually did it with my daughter this year. So that was real fun. And it really clarified things for me. But yeah, did you do any kind of like activities or resolution planning this year, Mr. Jackson, to get prepared for this year?
Yeah, I'm like you, Tim. I've had so many what you call it, New Year's goals that I really, mentally, I just made sure that I was going to be on track on about 3 or 4 things that I, necessarily think are good for me in terms of my business development, and then also the overall development of the community at large in terms of the real estate situation.
Absolutely, and I think that's just what happens when you kind of have a full plate. You're like, all right, you kind of got to know when it's full enough.
Yeah, you almost know what you want out of life. So, by this time, if you haven't figured it out, man, you can't be rambling all over the place. You got about 2 or 3 things and 4 or 5 things. I don't know. But you know what the things that worked for you in the last year. So, hey, listen, if it ain't broke, keep moving with it.
That's right. That's right. So, look, we just going to share our goals, right? Try to make it as simplistic as possible today. I put together a little PowerPoint. I'm actually still putting it together, but it's okay. I got the goals already prepared for you. I'm not sure if you guys can see the screen or not, but what I'll do is just kind of like read it. It's not much there. Is it possible to pull up the screen, or we're not right now?
Yeah, I didn't set it up.
Okay, well, that's fine. So pretty much the first goal that I had was the Housing Business Owners LLC. So we mentioned the Housing Business Owner Membership Program a lot throughout this podcast. If you've been with us for a while, you probably heard us give you our contact information, right? You can reach out to us at members@housingbusinessowners.com, right? That's a resource for you to ask questions, interact with us, right? Get and just ask anything you may need, or if you have a request. And also, while we're on the subject of contact information, right, we want to just bring to the forefront again, right? We here at the South Bay Recording Studio and Podcast, right? And we love being here, right? It's always such a pleasure to be able to provide quality content, right, with quality equipment, quality sound, right? And if you're interested, you can always reach out to info@southbaypodcast.com or on Instagram at southbaypodcast. Okay. And you can also tap in, right? This is live, right? You can always tap in to the call, to the podcast at 855-9-RECORD. Again, that's 855-9-RECORD. And did you want to give them some more contact information to reach out to you, Mr. Jackson?
Yes, you can reach me at Hammond Financial Group. My telephone number is area code 310-936-4780. If you want to reach me by email, is the letter J, marvin655 @gmail.com.
And can you repeat that for us one more time?
Certainly. Telephone number is 310-936-4780. My email is the letter J, Marvin, MARVIN, 655 @gmail.com.
Okay. Well, the whole point of the housing business owners is to create a product suite, right? A lot of you guys know I'm owner of a nonprofit called Section 8 Managers. We provide housing placement services for low-income families with housing vouchers, and we do this in 30 days or less, right? And we have a contract with the City of Los Angeles with their Community Choice Program that allows families to move into high opportunity areas. And that's a passion, right? And so we really want to build out on our other corporation, because the nonprofit has been doing really good work and excited. And now we really want to expand the level of people we can help, because that's kind of limited to people with vouchers, right? And so there's tons of more resources that we want to share to the community. And so the Housing Business Owners has its own LLC, right? Incorporated in California. Right, we just launched officially at the end of last year as a corporation, and so really my goal is to really get that corporation in a place where it's a business, right? And if we can go into all the components of what a business is, right, in terms of having services, products, and a delivery system. And so just to let you know what our products are with the Housing Business Owners, I'll give you a list since you can't see it. But this housing podcast actually falls under that corporation. So we wanted to actually, get this going. And so we're actually ahead of the game right now. That's one of the products, the resources we wanted to get going. So the housing podcast. We also have housingworkshops.com. We have housingbusinessowners.com. We have housingplacementcoach.com and certifiedhousingspecialist.com. And this is our product suite. All of these different, I would say, names and websites offer a different resource for our community. And just to expand on the housing podcast, right, we're going to have the audio feature, which you guys are hearing now, the visual feature. For some of you guys, you can see us now live on our social media accounts, right? And then we have our special access where, we actually bring in special guests. And some of this content is going to be exclusive, right? We can't share everything live as much as we want to. So that'll have a special access point for those that's interested in those special podcasts that we share. And as far as our housing workshops, right, we just got approved with the city some of the material that we want to share, right? We're going to be offering renters workshops, financial empowerment workshops, landlord workshops, right? So we have a whole product suite, and we'll be sharing where you can actually sign up for a workshop, because right now it's actually free, and we want to share that workshop, those workshops for you. And then for the housing business owners, this is our membership program. So we have we already started our membership program last year. So this is where, you're maybe a business person, right, and you're interested in helping your business be built. Oh, there it is. So you can actually kind of see some of the levels of the membership program for the housing business owners. There's 3 levels, right? And the whole point is really to help you as a business person in the housing industry, pretty much afford help. Because a lot of times, when you're building a business, it's very expensive to get access to people and things. And so we wanted to make people and things as accessible as possible to you guys and affordable as possible, right? Because we have, I have one of our members. His name is Chris Johnson, and he has his own grants and certifications program. I didn't bring any of his books today, but he has a whole program that he sells often. He was on the stage of a lot of these gurus, right? He was doing workshops with a lot of people, and I won't mention all the names, but he helped people get grants and access to contracts. Like we just won a contract, $2 million contract over a 5-year period by learning some of the concepts that he shares in his program, right? So we want to make those same resources available to our community as well. And so there's different levels that you can join us in our membership program to get access to those resources, right? And then you have a housing placement coach. So this is for like our affiliates. A lot of our affiliates that work with our Section 8 managers nonprofit, they join this because they specifically are interested in helping people with vouchers get placed into housing, right? And so we have a system, we have forms that's been vetted, right? And we share these resources to our affiliates or members of the housing placement course, right? So we have a whole course. It's a 6-week program. And we pretty much show you how to do what we do in our nonprofit, right? And how to make it your own, right? So we have white label opportunities where you can, take what we built and use it for yourself, right? Which is what we love to see you succeed without having to, take the hard route. And last but not least, the certified housing specialist. So the same kind of, sort of speak, right? Just a different level. So that's just kind of starting off, with the first goal, the Housing Business Owners LLC. We really want to get that business off the ground, and really what that will look like is getting the product suite completed, right? We always believe in having different price points. Like our cheapest service would be 88 cents a month. And that's literally just to listen to us, and to just invest into our community, right? We don't want to charge. It's more like a donation, right? And so, and it goes all the way up to $2,400 a month for some of our programs, right? So this is like for our housing placement coach membership program, and we pretty much help you get set up. We help you win contracts. So you literally have a business in a box, right? So, but anyway, that's the Housing Business Owners. Did you want to share one of your goals before I get to my next one?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I was been reflecting on the fact that the main issue in our community right now is basically everybody's talking about gentrification. I saw this coming years ago when I was in school, and I put together my thesis for my master's in economics, which the professor, after I left school, made it mandatory reading for all his graduate students. And I wondered why, and it was based on the white flight situation. And I looked at all the economic factors I said, hey, man, these people going out to the suburbs, they're coming back. And they are exactly coming back now because of various economic reasons solely, because our economy now is basically what you call a service economy, which is basically like, you say, components of healthcare, technological development, technological software companies and things of that nature. So essentially, that's what's happening in Los Angeles. I first saw it out when I was with the Commerce Department back in Washington, D.C. That's when I first saw it begin to emerge. And then now it has gone all over the country. I don't care, Midwest, East, Midwest, South, wherever. But now it's pretty prominent here in Los Angeles. If you go all through Los Angeles, you see a number of almost high-rise condo buildings going throughout, particularly all up Crenshaw, and at the same time, you got one of the richest development area in the city now is like Inglewood. I mean, when you follow the money, you follow the money in Inglewood, you see multi-billion-dollar investments going up in Inglewood, but it's also going all up along the Crenshaw corridor. I'm saying all that to say, okay, how can we as a community take advantage of this economic kind of what you call blessing that's on our community now? And that's what my goal is, to find out when we're dealt what you call, and the gangster put it, an American Gangster, when Denzel played that role, he said, when they gave me lemons, I made lemonade. And that's what we got to do. We got to find out a way how we as a community can benefit from all that great economic impact that's coming into our community in terms of development, particularly real estate development. And we can, and I see examples of I think there was a group called Oasis Development. They're basically on the same track that I was thinking about a long time ago. But one of the more prominent guys is Nipsey Hussle. What he was doing is commercial development mainly. And another one of my guys who's basically a youngster, I mean, well, my turn. He's in his, I think, early 40s. He has retired, and he has a mansion somewhere over in Beverly Hills, whatever. But he started out, I remember his first project. I visited him. He was on a little tractor thing, helping his build a house. He now has, I don't know how many houses he has developed, but that's what we need to do because we can do it. We got to. Los Angeles per capita has more money in the black community than any city, I guess you'd say, in the country. So we have the resources available. It's just that we all, as in our own little ways, have to start developing our own community to basically benefit from the economic blessings that we're getting from all the people that with money that are moving back into our area.
Absolutely. So, like, I know you mentioned the white flight, and you did like was it an article or kind of like a book?
It was my master thesis.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the one I'm talking about. That Dr. Bryant made it mandatory reading for all his graduate students. And I didn't find out until I was working on my PhD in the University of Cincinnati. And one of the students came over there. He said, "Your name Marvin Jackson?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, don't you know Dr. Bryant is making all of us read your paper?"
Wow.
And I understand why he did it now. And so but if I had that insight then, now I have another insight in terms of how we can take advantage of that white flight.
Okay. And is that something that we can make available eventually to the community?
Oh, yeah.
The thesis?
Well, what I like to do, make available, is basically how we can benefit from the white flight more than anything. Because the white flight thing is basically, I guess, an economic exercise, economic education exercise in what it is, what it was, and all that. But I want to make it a real practical plan for how we can benefit as a community from all the impact of the beneficial economic, I guess, factors that are coming into our community. I mean, how can we say, a $5 billion stadium in Inglewood and almost the same thing happening right across the street for the Clippers, and then all areas downtown, and then all areas I know they're coming into the Crenshaw area. So that's what I want to do is concentrate on that and put together basically a plan of how we can do it, because there are actually real activities going on, and I cited 3 real activities that are going on, real practical things going on in terms of Nipsey Hussle, and then also I think the Oasis development and a couple others, and then I'm going to see how we can break that down to benefit more people.
Okay. Wow. Like, that's going to be super powerful. And yeah, I mean, we really do have to follow the tea leaves. I'm a proponent for following the tea leaves.
There you go. Exactly.
That's how I made my career, and I learned about that. When I was trying to figure out what am I gonna do as a career in business. What I did first was I had to just learn what is the need. So right. As you guys start working on your goals, right, whether they're housing goals or your New Year goals, right? Follow the tea leaves, right? A lot of times we don't have to recreate the wheel.
No.
I mean, internet is so expansive, so accessible. There's so much information already readily available. A lot of times we just have to, look at the data, right? And let the data tell us what the market is asking for.
Right, exactly. Like you say, follow tea leaves. I say follow the money, sure.
Yep. And it's all the same thing, right? Because
exactly.
the money follows the data.
There
right?
you go.
Money follows the data. And so I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the other goals that we have, or that I have, is to fully develop one of the other corporations that we started a few years ago, called Section 8 Development. And initially, the purpose of Section 8 developers was to help some of the landlords that we work with get their units housing ready, to be able to rent to Section 8 voucher holders, right? We wanted to offer up a resource. We had handyman, we had some contractors that's willing to kind of serve our landlord community to help them get their units rent ready, right? But now we're kind of like taking it to the next level. We're using our corporation now to become owners ourselves, right? We're going to plan to buy 25 properties this year, 23 of it. So really it's 25. Our whole goal really is to make at least 23 of them available to low income or first time buyers eventually when they can get to a place where they can afford it. And then the other two, right, we're going to hold. But that's going to be our business model, at least for now, moving forward. And the way we're going to do that, right, we've already targeted neighborhoods. They're going to be in opportunity areas within the LA County. And the funding is a layered financing, which includes institutional loans, grants, and private funds. And so the whole point is to be able to get access to properties so then we can make them available to other first-time home buyers, right? And even if you're not a first-time home buyer, there's going to be opportunity for you if you're a part of our community, right? Because the whole point is we really want to empower our community to have access to these equity assets, right?
Exactly.
We feel just like what Mr. Marvin kind of mentioned, with the whole demographic shifts and how a lot of people are buying in the urban areas, we have to compete, right? And so we've already put together a business model. We put together, layered financing. So then that way we'd be able to attack the market with a $20 million budget. Okay. And the goal is to purchase at least 25 properties, single family, multifamily, right? And like I said, we're going to be leveraging grants as well. There's grants that's going to be made available in different avenues depending on what we do with the property, but one of them a lot of you guys are aware of. Some of them we're going to do a add-on, doing the ADU. A lot of those funding sources are dried out right now, but there's a lot of different layers of grants that's available, and so we're going to be utilizing that as well as the private fund. So if you're a private lender, right, we're actually looking for some more private lenders because we did get access to some apartments, even though that's not in our business model. We wanted to kind of stick with single family, multifamily. Our institutional lender said that we have to pay a couple of more points if we wanted to include apartments into this portfolio. And so if you're a private lender willing to kind of fill that gap that we're missing to include that in our portfolio, please reach out to us at members@housingbusinessowners.com, right? You can actually give me a call too on my cell phone, 661-312-8168. You can shoot me a text message, right? If you're a private lender looking to be a part of a large portfolio of 25 properties. And like I said, there's some additional apartments that's been forwarded our way to make a part of this portfolio, because we deal with a lot of landlords. And a lot of times, they have reasons why, they kind of want to do a 1031 exchange or kind of get out of their asset. And we have maybe about 5 of those apartments, right? But, if you're interested in more information about it, if you're a private lender, please reach out to us because we need help if we want to include apartments in our portfolio. So, yeah, that's pretty much the big 2 goals, is to build out the Housing Business Owners LLC and also the Section 8 Developers Corporation. Those 2 companies has kind of been on, complementing our nonprofit Section 8 managers. But now they're ready to get their own legs and do its own thing. We have a whole team in each of these different entities that really does a great job in following the tea leaves, right? They've kind of done it before. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but yeah, there's tons of developers that's doing it very well, and they're a part of our community, right? If you guys heard of Solar Impact Fund, I think he mentioned one, Oasis, American investment properties, right? There's kind of a couple of different ones, but I won't, it's all about, leveraging our network, And we have a very expansive network in the Los Angeles County area. We have developers, we have contractors, we have private lenders. We do have institutional lenders that assist you as well if you're a business, right? So if you're not a business, we help you get yourself in a position where, you can get access to this funding, right? Because there is steps that you need to take. Same thing with getting contracts, right? There's tons of contracts available in LA. Mayor Karen Bass, her number one priority is to increase the housing capacity in the Los Angeles area, right? And, the mayor's office is a resource. That's another resource. If you're into the serving the low income community and with housing, right? And so we just want to present all these different options that you have as a part of our community so you can take your business to the next level. Any thoughts on that, Mr. Jackson?
No, I think you kind of basically put it right in, at the point of real good impact as far as what what we need in our community, and you outlined it exceptionally well. So yeah, I would say that what happens is that we have to find a way to impact our what you call the indigenous, people in our community, and to make sure that they benefit this time instead of being on I guess they can become the receiving end of good investment projects that come in, and I think you have outlined it exceptionally well. And I think that's what we should be moving for, and that's the big thing. Hey, if we're talking about a goal for 2023, that's the goal that I'm way more interested in terms of the benefits that we can accrue from the investments that are coming into our community.
Yeah, so I think we hit on a lot. I think, kind of the main goals, if we were to kind of simplify it, is really to complete our goal to educate, right? And so then that way we can help our community get access to assets. So education and assets, right? We really want to see that go to the next level in 2023 for our community. We feel like we can be a big contributor to that, and we also feel like a lot of you maybe can contribute to that, and I know you guys can. Some of you have a lot of expertise, that I feel like we really want to invite you in. Whether it's a podcast, workshop, or maybe just coming a part of our network and helping us serve the community, right? Because we need everybody. It's not we can't do it on our own. I think I'm a proponent of being the change you want to see, in your life. And so a lot of these things that I mentioned as goals are aspirations that I wanted to see in the community. I know Mr. Marvin, he talked about, kind of like what is it? The gentrification, possible gentrification. And so to combat that, right, we have to kind of compete. We have to compete for these investment opportunities. We have to compete for these assets. We can't be complacent. We can't be discouraged, right? And the way we avoid those things is, we tap in to a community. We tap into the right education, right? And we learn how to get access to these different resources, right? And so we don't have all the answers, but like I said, we usually teach what we do ourselves. And so, like I mentioned, we have to raise funds. That's a whole nother process, right? A lot of it is institutional funding, but and then layering other financing, but raising money is going to be important for us. And so that's another big goal. But yeah, I didn't want to kind of like make this too complicated, than necessary, and just to kind of like go back. So we have one corporation called the Housing Business Owners. We want to see that take the next level. We have 5 products that we're going to be making available to the community. And then with the Section 8 developers, we're going to be buying 25 properties. And just keep a lookout for this, because we've already started building some ADUs. We're going to make one of the ADUs available real soon, maybe in a couple of months, so you guys can kind of see what we did, how we did it. We're going to, go over every process, every nook and cranny, all the challenges that, we had experienced, because this is something that we can do, whether you have a grant to do it or not. This is something that, if you're a homeowner, that you could do in California, because now they're making these things easier to do. And so, but yeah, I just want to keep it as simple as possible.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Yeah, I think it's pretty much understandable to most of the people that are, on our podcast. And I appreciate the fact that at least my partner Tim here, and as a lead guy, he's doing a very good job. And I think it's wonderful that we can at least alert our community to the fact that there are economic benefits from the investors and our investment objectives to help all the business people, residential, and particularly the families that are coming into certain assets in terms of the generation wealth thing. So I think we're on the right track this time.
I appreciate you guys again for joining us at the Housing Podcast. It is our mission to enrich you and your family, your business, right, to help it take the next level. And we hope you join us next time for our next episode of the Housing Podcast. I'm your host, Tim McDaniel. Thank you.